strong.
Now we're recording. Okay. So anyway, this is just a kind of a thought-provoking thing. I believe, this is me, I believe that what Rotary's thinking is that with new clubs, you can shape that new club to appeal to who? Older members?
Younger members.
Younger members. And as we are learning, younger members want something different in Rotary, right? It's tough to take an existing club and change it to something that will meet the needs of the millennials. It's much easier to create something that they can help create and something that will appeal to them. Again, this is only my thoughts, but whatever it is. I just wanted to throw that out. Now we need to get into what we're talking about today, which is attracting members. And just like Jesse did, I want to show you this. And if you can follow along, if you have your book with you, you have it electronically or otherwise. But we're now into lesson 2. And it says here underneath attracting members, I can lead and promote my club's re-examination of its distinctive position in my community and the quality of members we attract. Okay, so we're looking at, now we're looking at attracting members. I'm trying to, there we go. On my panel. And the session goals on the left, this is what we want to walk away with today. We want to talk about what are the attributes of a good Rotarian. You're going to tell me what you think a good Rotarian is. We're going to explore how my club, your club, can attract good Rotarians. And we're going to try something different. We're going to have a breakout session, put you in different breakout rooms, 2 of them, along with Jesse and Jeff. And you're going to come up with what you think would be a really good way to attract Rotarians to your club. And then you're going to report back. As we go over to the material side, the things that are included in this lesson are there's a membership process chart, and you can refer back to that when you put your plan together. Also, there's an insert for the club membership committee. We'll just be sure or be aware it's there, but there's nothing in that club committee structure that we're going to be actually using for our process today. And the other things that are available to you are a classification survey, which we'll talk about briefly in a little bit, which is actually part of the next resource, which is the Membership Development Resource Guide. That's 417 EN. Within 417 EN is the description of a classification survey and how to do one for your club. And then lastly, there's a source material online that you can use, how to propose a new member. Of course, that's once you've found somebody and you want to propose them to the membership. And so that we won't be going much into that today. We'll be talking more about where can we find good Rotarians? And that's the question. You tell me, where do we find them?
Chamber membership. I think that's one place that we can find them is in chamber membership, folks involved in the community already.
Oh, okay. And Jesse, would you be my scribe for this?
Sure.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, so we're talking about our topic number 1, where can we find good Rotarians? Chamber members, okay.
Okay, do you want me to make this visible now or summarize?
Yeah, you can make it visible now.
Okay, I think you need to stop sharing your screen first.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Groups like the young professionals.
Do I pause it?
Down, there should be a stop sharing.
I see pause share. Stop recording. There's a new share. Okay. Is it open now?
If you want to pop open a text window, I'll work in that. That's fine.
Shoot. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and record now, and I'll bring it up in a minute.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to do that.
I can reclaim the host, Bruce, and then give it to Jesse.
Okay.
Although, keep in mind, if we do that, the breakout rooms may be affected.
Oh, okay.
I can. I'll just put in a text file and we'll do it at the end. That's okay.
Okay. So can you see? Okay, we're back where we were. So we talked about chamber members, anybody, anything else?
In many communities, there are young professionals organizations. So I think you could identify quality folks in those groups, and it would be that demographic that would help us grow Rotary as well.
Okay. Where else can we find good Rotarians?
Obviously, business owners. I mean, the various businesses in town, that's pretty standard.
Okay, business owners.
What
Anything
about
else?
Rotaract clubs?
Oh, Rotaract. Maybe, maybe not. But in some cases, perhaps.
Mhm.
That brings up the question of, who can be a Rotarian? Is there an age limit? That's something we need to think about.
Well, the face of Rotary has changed so much from when I originally got into Rotary. So, because not that there was an age limit so much, but they did look for people who were established in business as owners or managers. And I get the impression that that's changed a little bit today.
I think it has a great deal. Are any of the clubs that are represented here today, do you guys only recruit business owners or business managers?
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't either.
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, that's changed. We are looking, it would be nice if we could find business professionals, but I'll tell you what, if we find someone who has the wherewithal financially to be a Rotarian and want to serve the community, what else are we looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And meet the four-way test.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is we can find them in a lot of different places, right? And so now the next question is,
I don't want to.
what makes a good Rotarian? We know where to find them, but what are the qualities that we're looking for?
I would say a passion for service.
Or service-minded.
Passion for service, service-minded. Okay. Anything else?
Aside from somebody who already represents the four-way test, I would say just reliability, dependable, somebody that we can count on.
Somebody you can count on. How would we measure that? That would be a tough one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So what do we rely on? This is getting to the heart of the matter now, and it approaches, or I guess what we're talking about now is not only who are we after, but how do we know? We think we know what we're looking for, but how do we know if someone has good character? And I don't have a good answer for that.
Well, other than our own personal references, like somebody that I regularly interact with, I would probably have the opportunity to observe those characteristics as to whether or not it's somebody that I feel. And I honestly, when I meet people, I ask myself the four-way test as far as, do they represent themselves in a manner in which would support or promote Rotary and its founding principles.
Right.
So, and if we're referring or bringing people in, proposing them, we're proposing them based on my relationship as to me finding them as somebody I would recommend into the club.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer, and I found this when I visited when I was membership chair. The 3 years that I was district membership chair, I visited probably a little less than half the clubs in the district. And I would ask this question of them as well. And some clubs had some very clever ideas, sending flyers out, to every business within a mile of where they meet, and then having, just bringing all these people in, maybe having a dinner or some type of a social gathering to introduce them to Rotary, and then see how many people were interested and sign them up. But what's the problem with that?
Don't know them.
Yeah, nobody knew who they were. Nobody could vouch for their whether they would meet the four-way test or not. Their character.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
What we're doing is
a number of years ago brought a few people in who were interested in only one thing, and that was promoting their own business. They didn't last very long. So I think the tried and true method, one of the tried and true methods, is you ask people that you know and that you trust, that you have trust in, because they've built that relationship over time. So, I think, so to answer the first question, we can find them just about anywhere. We know what we're looking for. not just business owners, professionals, and other people that have a great interest in serving the community and can otherwise meet the requirements of being a Rotarian. Okay. So the second thing we want to talk about is the makeup of your club. And this is very important. Rotary, I went to this most recent membership conference last year that was in the presidential membership conference that was conducted in Albuquerque. And one of the big things that they were talking about there was the makeup of the clubs, and particularly diversity. Diversity is a very, very important issue right now at Rotary International. Can anybody tell me about your clubs? How diverse are your clubs, and in what way are they diverse?
I feel like we're diverse.
Okay, then if you think your club is diverse, how diverse is your age distribution?
What?
Our age distribution.
Age.
Yeah, is your age distribution diverse?
In our case, we got members as young as 28,
There you go.
all the way to the 60s. We really we don't concentrate on the age, but we found that those between the 30s and 40s are most of the target, the people that come in that want to do the work, because the younger people, they're too busy trying to get something going for themselves. And so once you reach the 40s, that's what we found, that they're more established and they got more time to apply to this.
Right. You know what? I didn't ever answer the question that I asked a little while ago. I didn't give you an answer about, is there an age restriction on being a member in Rotary? And the answer is no, there isn't. If the member can, although I'm pretty sure that Rotary would probably frown on trying to recruit somebody in high school or even college for that matter. But for years, it was assumed by many clubs that you had to be 35 years old to become a Rotarian. And the reason that people thought that because they were looking at the requirements for what? Rotaractor. A Rotaract member is anyone from age 21 to 35.
35.
So everybody just made the assumption, well, 35 must be the limit, but it isn't. We have a lot of very, very good Rotarians who are in their 20s, have their own businesses, and are looking for ways to give back to the community. So they make great Rotarians. But let's get back to our, so age is definitely a differentiating aspect of diversity. What other things? How about gender? How are we doing in
We maybe 1 to 3.
Actually, that's not too bad.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Our
Yeah,
club
we've got several women.
49% women.
Yeah.
Sorry. We've got several women. Our age diversity, we range in Clovis, we range from 23 to 92.
No kidding. That's excellent.
That's why we have such a fun club.
Yeah. And so age, gender, our club is primarily, I would say, we do have a fairly decent Latino representation in our club, but that's about it as far as any other, we're talking about racial.
Natalia Berger.
So we would very much, we are very much trying to find some other, members that can come in and provide that diversity. And why is that important? Why is diversity important in a club?
Well, you develop different. Go ahead.
Different skill sets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same reason why we have different classifications, right? And here I want to talk very briefly about the classification survey, but what is it that, why do we have classifications and why are we looking for a diverse club? Well, it's so that we can draw on all those different backgrounds, all those different abilities, knowledge, skills that people bring to the table. That's why we don't have clubs full of all bankers or lawyers, which sometimes you wonder about that, but
I'm going to throw out one other thing in classifications that often gets lost in this discussion, and that is contacts. The contacts that bankers have are different often than the contacts that doctors do, different than the contacts that retail people do, and so on. And you want to contact many people in your organization, in your community.
Right. Absolutely. So the more diverse your club is, the more I think opportunities there are to get different skill sets, different ideas about way things should be done. It really works out really well. And here we're going to go ahead and show you on my. I hope here we go. First off, we got a couple of inserts here. The first one is kind of sideways, so apologize for that. But this membership process here breaks down, membership in terms of finding them here on the left, bringing them in, and then keeping them interested once they come in. So what we're focusing on today, when we break up in our groups, if you're looking for some things for your plan, these first two columns are a good place to look. If we move on to the next page, it talks about the membership committee, and the membership committee, it explains, how does the club achieve its membership goals, and there's some stuff in there as well. But they also mention, and what we don't have a copy of because it's pretty big, is the classification survey. And that was mentioned I mentioned that earlier. How many of you have ever done a classification survey in your club? Oh, Jesse, can you tell us about it? First off, how long did it take and how many people were involved?
Well, you have to go back. I've been in Rotary 25 years, and when I started, it was just a standard part of Rotary. And there was a document, it was about a 1/4 inch thick. Every page listed all the classifications. So it was, the whole idea at that time in Rotary is you didn't want 2 bankers in your club. You didn't want 2 car salesmen.
Right.
And so on. So you build a list, but then everybody tries to fudge the system. So then you have car dealer new, car dealer used. And so these classification surveys just expanded. And you could think of how that could get even more ridiculous. You could say car dealer, German cars, car dealer.
Yeah. So what does a classification, Jesse, what does a classification survey do for the club?
It was at that time designed to help the clubs identify businesses you would target to get new members. It also identified categories where you didn't want to have multiple members in one. But it really, the value of it is it builds diversity. If you really try to get members in many different classifications, many different business, you develop a diversity in your club.
Right. The whole idea about classification is, and Rotary would say that ideally your club should mirror the classifications in your community. Okay. So a classification survey, and one of the reasons why it's a massive project, is what you do is you survey what classifications are available or there represented in your community, compare it to what the people in your club, what they do, what their classifications are, and you see where you have holes that you would like to fill. It's something that large clubs tend to do more than small because it is a laborious process. And basically, you take the phone book. A phone book is not a bad place to start to look at classifications and see what's out there.
What is a phone book?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was asking, what is a phone book?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's never mind the phone book. Look at your. Yeah, well, it must be. Yeah. Go to Google with your cell phone.
Bruce, I would make the suggestion that the classification surveys, the way we did them many years ago, were just huge and cumbersome. I would think if you just came up with 1 to 2 pages listing the major classifications.
Yeah, it's
Probably
just a
all the
suggestion.
time you need.
Yeah, it's a suggestion. But the other point about classification is it gives the club an opportunity to sit down and discuss what classifications would we like to see in our club.
Mhm.
And then actually try to identify those people in those classifications and then go after them. We realized in our club about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe not quite that long, we realized the need for a public relations person in our club, someone who could get us involved in social media. Because at that time, we did not have a social media presence. We were just beginning to realize how important social media is in tracking younger members. So we went out and we made that decision, then recruited a PR guy. One of the best things we ever did. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but now we have people like Jeff, and we have another PR person on board now to run our PR campaign. And it's just great as far as getting our message out to the people, the young people out there, in a medium that they can understand and use frequently. Okay. So classification, very important. Rotary says now they have, as Jesse mentioned, they have significantly loosened, if you will, the rules on classifications. Now you can have up to 5 people or 10% of your membership in the same classification. And like Jesse was saying, the other way around that is you just find a specialization for them and you classify them in that specialization, and you can even exceed that. And the bottom line is Rotary realizes how important it is to get new members, and they are still pushing classification. They still want diversity, not only in age, race, and those sorts of things, but also in skills. And the way to do that is look for different classifications. Okay, so now we're going to spend the rest of the time, we're going to split you up into groups, I hope. And what I want you to do is I want you, as a group, to discuss how you would conduct a membership campaign and recruit new members. And you can use that source I just showed you a little while ago, right here. You can use this membership process, the first 2 columns, bottom to top. I know it's sideways. You can use that as a guide, but come up with your own ideas. And what I want you to do is I want you to discuss how you would bring in new members, look at the inserts, and then report back. What is your plan? In your group, I want you to develop a new member campaign. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to do this, and then we'll come back, and then you'll report back. And so Jesse and Jeff will be the scribes in each of the groups, and we'll take notes, and then I'll be checking in on you in about 10 minutes. We'll come back and see what you have. Does anybody have any questions? What would you do if you could go ahead and put there, it'll be I know this is going to be rough, but that's okay. Discuss what you want in your new member recruiting campaign. Where are you going to find people? Who do you want to find? How are you going to do it? Okay, any questions? Okay, now I'm going to see if I can do this.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here I go. Pause, share. Where am I? Oh.
And you'll all have to hit, you'll get a prompt that says join a breakout room. Just hit yes or okay.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start it, and all you have to do is hit yes or okay, and you'll be in the session. I'm not sure about how Leolyn is going to do this. Okay, there we go.
I like how Mark is a huge fan of our club.
So,
Yay, Clovis.
this is outstanding. I really like the breakout session. What did you guys think of that?
That was
Loved it.
fun.
Enjoyed it.
That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, great. I'm hoping that Leola, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Great. Okay. I'm sorry that you can't see what's going on, or maybe you can see. I'm not sure.
I can see you guys.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, super. Okay, so now what we'd like to do is we'd like to have both sessions report back. So who would like to go first? Let's start with Jeff's group one. Who's going to be your moderator there, Jeff?
That would be the president-elect of the Fun Clovis Club.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. So we had a great brainstorming breakout session, and we kind of established that as an ongoing campaign to find new members, we would always look at the speakers that we invite to our club as great candidates for membership. We would also visit local companies and ask them to come give a presentation, and then of course look to them to recruit them into our club. And then periodically ask active, engaged members to come up with a couple of names of prospective prospective members that we could invite to lunch. But then for the bring them in portion, we talked about a couple of different competitions, friendly competitions within the club, where we would divide up teams made up of maybe more experienced Rotarians and include some of our newer Rotarians on those teams, and actually set goals for bringing in new members. And by the way, we would identify, first of all, through a survey where we lacked in diversity and also in classification. And so then we would weight the point system in this competition to reward the teams that are bringing in the classifications that we need more representation of, as well as, for example, bringing in females. We established that women are worth a lot more than men. And
Bonus
it would be
points.
important to bring in women, and that you'd get more points for that. Let's see. What else have I missed, team?
The beans and cornbread.
Oh, right.
The
So
reward.
the reward, not only would we set goals for the teams once they're formed, but then we would measure results, check progress throughout the year, and then the payout would be the winning team would get to sit and have a steak dinner alongside the losers who would enjoy beans and cornbread.
Okay. Interesting.
Jeffrey said that beans and cornbread sounds pretty good, though, so we might change that to hot
Actually, they
dogs.
do. Very good. All right. Thanks so much for that, Mike. And let's go ahead and move on to group number 2.
Okay.
Deborah, speak, Deborah.
Okay. Can you see it there?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to scroll up a little bit.
Okay. We're at the top right here.
All right. We didn't get quite as far or into what we would be doing as far as within the club, but we wanted to focus on where would we start out in the community. Doing the things in our club that people want to be a part of who are not necessarily Rotarians. We thought about asking some of those people to join the club and participate, not necessarily as a Rotarian, but would pique their interest. It would also give us a chance to educate them about Rotary, who we are and what we do. We talked about the potential of starting a satellite club that would make it easy for people. I think the example we used was there's a breakfast club. Not everybody can come to breakfast, but perhaps a group of 8 or so people can meet for cocktail hour. So starting a satellite club would give people the ability to belong to it. And we thought it was very important to talk to our inner circle of friends and colleagues and talk up Rotary. in our community, in our club. When people are interested, it's really easy to ask them to come and join you either at a meeting or in an activity. And then talking to people in public, such as on a ski lift in Taos.
Oh, yeah.
Talking. It's a chance to wear your Rotary pin, your Rotary jacket, your Rotary cap, and talk to anybody who listens. They have lots of ways and means to do that. Within the club, find who's interested in being part of a potential membership committee, and that membership recruitment should be a part of our strategic plan, so we should have a membership committee that is focused on those strategic goals. People that we serve in Rotary could possibly become members of our club. We also talked, as the other group did, about asking speakers to join.
Good point. We do that.
And looking at internally at Rotary alumni. I came to become a Rotarian because I was a GSE team member. We talked about youth exchange, RILA, peace, or ambassadorial scholars. And public relations. Make sure our community knows about Rotary. I can't remember who talked about, I think it was Lyle, was that you? Talking about every time you do a project, making sure you get an article and a picture in the newspaper.
That was us.
Yep.
That's Taos.
Right. Yale. Yep.
Okay. Very good.
That was our list.
Excellent. These are all great ideas. I hope that you will take these individually back to your clubs. Maybe have an opportunity to present them to your membership committee if they're not already a member of the membership committee, and say, hey, you know, there are things out there. There are resources available to you to help you with your recruiting. And most clubs, I think, really feel that recruiting is one of the most important things that they should be doing as far as membership. I have one other thing I'm going to leave you with. I'll turn it back over to Jeff. And that is one we tried this once, and unfortunately we haven't gone back to it, but I think we will. And that is one of the things that we tried early on was to make sure that prospective members had an opportunity to tell us what their expectations were of being a member of our club. What did they expect to get out of this? Were they there only to further their own business? Were they there to give back to the community? Why? Well, you know, what are their expectations? And then they, on the other hand, need to know what are the club's expectations about them in terms of attendance, in terms of, you know, financial responsibilities, in terms of getting involved as quickly as possible. The worst thing that can happen, and unfortunately happens a lot, is new members come in, everybody gets excited about it, and what happens? Then we forget about them. We lose track of them. Hello. My phone just went off. Our time's up. Okay, so I'm going to transfer it back over to Jeff, I think.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Jeff, how do I do that?
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. That's good.
All right. So you survived Zoom, for those of you who have not been part of this before. After the second half tomorrow, some of you are going to be on tomorrow, some will be on Wednesday. You'll get an online survey to let us know how all of this went. We need your feedback to make this even better. If there's nothing else, wish you all a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday.
It was nice
Thanks,
meeting you
Jeff.
guys. Bye.
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 Thanks for all the work you did. Jeff, Jesse, Bruce, thank you for all the work you put into this.
You're welcome, Yale. Good to see you. Hey, Yale, are you using a handheld camera?
I'm using my iPad.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why. It's like being on a rolling deck of a ship.
Just put your legs apart and bend your knees.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
On that note, good night, everyone.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff.